When I had 18, I participated in my first mobility experience. It was a bilateral youth exchange.
I am the coordinator of a partnership program that is running between the Council of Europe and the European Commission in the field of youth.
I work in a youth center, and one of the programs of youth center is to support mobility of young people with fewer opportunities.
And 10 participants coming from 36 different countries. Most of them are young people and youth workers, but we'll have also institutional representatives. This seminar asked this question, very important: are mobility projects a luxury for young people with fewer opportunities? And it is organized by the French-speaking community of Belgium in the framework of the EU-Belgian Presidency, the field of youth.
The concept of this seminar is to explore the subject of mobility, not only in the meaning of a geographical possibility to move concretely, but also in the meaning of cultural mobility, social mobility.
And also to break down some of the barriers, economic, disadvantaged and political borders that exist around mobility. And if we can break down these barriers and raise some awareness, this will be really, really good. And also to get the policy and decision makers having an experience and to listen, an opportunity to listen to young people.
You are tasked to take 2 photographs of young people or youth workers you don't know. You have to find these young people or youth workers and also discuss what they have been doing today and also share with them what you have been doing today.
The approach will be creative, dynamic, lots of sharing, people getting to know perspectives from different countries and from different areas and different regions.
After, we want to make revendication, recommendation and strategies, really to say, yeah, there are obstacles, but we want to make something to overcome the obstacles.
We are in a time machine. Yeah, a time machine, and I'm the driver, okay? So, but I need you to drive, okay? So.
We really believe that non-formal education approach can be really useful, not only for the youth worker and the young people, but also for the institutional, in order to reduce a bit that gap between who is deciding which kind of policy need to be developed and who that policies will develop and will be actor of that policy.
The goal of the seminar is to show how it is important for all young people to set up and to have the opportunity to realize a mobility project. Because mobility projects don't change completely their lives, but it brings them very often new perspectives.
So, no official speech and blah blah.
It was my first experience in mobility, and it was when I was 15. My parents sent me to Russia, to Sabac. There was a little group of Estonians, and most of the children were Russians. I went there by stereotypical thinking that the Russians, I don't like them, I don't want to know who they are, why am I going there? So there's this conflict always between Estonians and Russians.
So I was participating in more or less 30 trainings, youth exchanges, and also Leonardo, EBS. So I had the chance to be participant, and teach other youngsters how to be involved in this kind of projects.
And this camp lasted for a month, so by the end of the first week I realized that the Russian kids are different than our kids, and they are not bad, and it was like changing inside of me.
And a lot of new friends, language skills, a lot of skills like independence, how to move in big cities and small places.
And young Russians, they are no different than we are, so we should live together.
We can do this to make a painting, a picture, something to show what it means mobility for us, to be free, to move, to come to have the freedom to choose. So, but in this issues we face difficulties, we face challenges, we face our fears that make us a little bit stop.
For Chinese people, it's really a luxury thing because you have a lot of barriers there to block you inside your country. Even in the country, you cannot really go one city to another city easily. We used to work inside. We're just stuck in our home, and that doesn't help us to develop our countries. So I believe that mobility is something that you could learn, from which you could learn and then develop yourself, learn a lot.
It is a political barrier because we have not so many opportunities like in Europe. We have problems with visa, for example.
Biggest barrier from one side is definitely economical aspect that doesn't depend on the young people and the support of the community. Because when you live in a country and your community is saying that it's not okay to go in another part of the country, then also beside of this economical, you have this also this big social problem because there are prejudices and stereotypes.
Mobility programs are useful for young people, but then the problem is whether employers recognize that mobility, that it is important for the work that they will be doing.
And motivation sometimes could be perceived as a luxury because not everyone has opportunity to be motivated or has a reason to be motivated.
Well, the biggest problem is clearly their own confidence to take the adventure that's possibly available to them. But beyond the psychological barriers that they face a whole load of practical things that, even if they then become motivated, still get in the way. Well, the most important thing is that young people get the support they need when they need it. And so there have to be people around them who command their confidence, who can give them the right information, the right support, the right guidance.
Different institutions in the world, I mean from the local level, national level to international level, are trying to support young people to experience something different than everyday life. There are different programs from the Council of Europe. United Nations has different programs. I would say one now, maybe with a quite big impact in the local community, is the program of the European Commission called Youth in Action.
Employment is, of course, a very important priority for young people, but it can't be the only priority. And it's important to have very specified strategy for young people to improve their inclusion in society.
Yes, we have been lining up the challenges. And I think that it's clear to me now that if we want to make mobility an option for all young people, we need to be able to raise their awareness, but once we have raised their awareness and they are interested, we need to follow up. It's very important that we are there for them, to support them, to guide them, to coach them.
I'm always thinking that we need more multipliers, a nice team of multipliers, really trained by the national agencies that are really going to teach it to the youngsters and other youth workers that don't know this kind of projects.
And we should also try to incite different social actors, such as university, employment agencies, to work more together.
If we imagine what we invest in young people with fewer opportunities and what we invest in the other ones, that's not comparable. And therefore I think there must be a better balance in our investments in the young people with regard to education, training, improving mobility, supporting mobility and so on.
For the headlines on the TV, like EVS project approved.
Now are the time to reflect how to make the video, and it's a brainstorming.
It comes according to, as you say, our position in our community.
And it will have some kind of influence on future developments within the European Youth Programme.
The economic crisis continues to hit hard. Youth workers approach politicians for more money.
You have to change some things.
Giving money, training, finances so your dreams can come true.
Don't be afraid by me, just convince me.
They hug and kiss each other as a symbol of their connection.
So let's make this moment friendly as possible. Please use this opportunity to raise your hand and to make your voice heard. And I think it's very important that we can all together make sense.
We encourage young people to be volunteers, to be active, and to do in the local level part of mobility, because we know what is the reality of Europe nowadays. There is a lot of disadvantaged young people, a lot of immigrants living in local reality. So there is a huge job to be done to integrate these people.
Because I think that youth leaders and youth workers are the most important thing, and the support for them is really small. Without your support, without all these things we can't, because we don't have any tools to this.
We do sometimes appreciate the participation, spontaneity of the youth projects, but at the same time we put many conditions on how it should be done, so that we can somehow be safe. And I think this letting go and leaving room for young people to develop, to start, to do it, is very important. It's clear that we need more and we need stronger programs.
What was good about the event was two things. One was the composition of the participants. They struck me as real young people and not the professional seminar attenders that we sometimes get at these events. And the second thing was the way the seminar organisers broke down the process into 5 stages and got different groups to actually look at those challenges at different points in the process.
The title of this seminar is Mobility for Young People, is that a luxury? And I think anonymously we say, no, it's not a luxury. It should be for everybody.
Yeah, mobility is finding you through the others.
People could have any dreams and could to try to realize it.
I just want to say, make the move, involve yourself in projects.